Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the regular Lighthouse Point City Commission meeting of March 12, 2019. There'll be an invocation by Father Thomas from St. Paul the Apostle Church.
Lord our God, we are very grateful and thankful to you because you have showered lots of blessing into your life. Lord, continue to bless us. And also I pray for the people who gathered here. Lord, bless them and enlighten their hearts, mind, and intellect so that they may be able to make wise and apt decision for the well-being of the people who live in this city. We ask all these prayers in the name of the Lord. Amen.
We'll call the meeting to order and do the pledge to the flag. Thank you, Father.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Mayor Trost.
Here.
Commission President Joffe.
Here.
Commission Vice President Walker.
Here.
Commissioner Johnson.
Here.
Commissioner Long.
Here.
Commissioner Van Busker.
Here.
City Attorney Cirillo.
Here.
City Administrator Leviski.
Here.
Finance Director DiPaolo.
Here.
Fire Chief Gil Martin.
Here.
Library Director Keys. Is back there.
Yeah, she's back there. Here.
Police Chief Licata.
Here.
Public Works Director Schramm.
Here.
Recreation Director Leasing. Here.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. First item on our agenda tonight is the Keeper Day Parade Awards. Ms. Lee Singh.
Where's your pink shirt? I think Neil.
She's on the clock.
Yeah, exactly. Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. We're happy to have a great group of people here for us tonight. We had an awesome Keeper Day parade this year, even got through some of the rain in the beginning, and people still came out. It was like definitely one of the biggest ones we've had. And as you can see up here, we have some great pictures of some of the floats that were chosen by our committee, and it was tough. So I'm going to start off with our Keeper Committee Spirit Award. Goes to Elite Force. And hopefully the pictures will show, but he had at least 50 kids and parents out there. And they definitely resembled what Lyles Point has in Keeper, and we really appreciate you guys coming out, and we hope you guys can continue to support us, all right? Thank you. Thank you.
Craig, if you lose any more weight, you're going to disappear.
Just try to keep up with you.
No, that's not me.
Okay, and then the Mayor's Award goes to the Cantor family. Oh, there she is. Awesome. And friends and the fire truck, the bubbles,
I was going to bring bubbles for everybody. We'll just hide you over until next year.
Hey, come on over, girl.
Sorry.
Awesome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And last but certainly not least, our best use of theme goes to the beautiful Swarthouse International Pompano Beach. And here's a little shot here. They transformed a pickup truck into a gondola. All the ladies were matching outfits with the black and white shirts and rowing and all that. So they definitely got our theme of La Dolce Vita, of living the sweet life in Lyles Point. So if all my sisters can come on up.
Apparently Shannon said she's dual enrolled.
She's going for the most trophy awards.
All right. Thank you, ladies. Thank you. So once again, we just want to thank everyone for participating. You made it a great day.
Thank you, Ms. Lee Singh. Thank you, everybody, for a wonderful event, being part of it.
Commission President Joffe, can I just say something? Molly Cantor just got her second degree black belt. I just wanted to say that. Congratulations.
Next item on our agenda, if that's okay with you, Commissioner Van Busker, is the approval of the minutes for the regular meeting of February 26, 2019. Had an opportunity to review, Commissioners.
Make a motion to approve?
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second by Commissioner Long. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Treasurer's report, Finance Director DiPaolo.
Good evening. General fund has $2,807,524.54. Cleanup deposits $30,800.00. Garbage and trash fund $1,536,841.72. Special purpose funds $2,843,775.56. Stormwater utility fund $480,087.45. Debt service fund $162,361.82. Contingency $5,483,748.00. General fund encumbrances $285,123.57. Total all funds $13,630,262.66.
Questions for Finance Director?
Quick question.
Yep.
What happened with engine 22? Engine breakdown?
Chief, you want to?
What happened with engine 22?
I'm not sure what was the,
Fire? Or emergency repairs?
oh, we had emergency repairs. It has all these new diesel trucks have an engine regeneration system on them, so they can burn off all the carbon stuff from the diesel fuel. And, ours, we don't have anywhere long distance to run the trucks. They're on all the diesel trucks. Our truck basically is tied to our city here, so we don't have really a chance to get out and run it 11 hours on the thing. So it gets plugged up, and we had a problem with it. It was just one thing after another trying to get it cleared up, and we had to take it to Expert Diesel, which is the Cummins dealer that does the repairs and stuff. It can put the truck in limp mode. So we can't afford something like that to happen, so we have to take it there to have it repaired, and it's been just over 5 years we've had the truck, and it was just time to get it repaired.
Okay, not covered.
So we didn't know that the warranties were over. We already had a turbo replaced in it, and so that was covered under warranty. We had a bunch of work done under warranty already, but this was just had to put in all these new filters and everything else. Our other truck, our ladder truck, doesn't have a system like that, and our older rescue truck doesn't have a system like that. But all the new diesels, I think after 2011 or something, has to have these regeneration systems on it. So
it's back up and running.
right, and we've had a whole training thing done to, make sure everybody knows exactly the lights are on and all kinds of stuff. So
Thank you.
we hopefully want to do it again.
Commissioner, I can tell you that the regen on those fire engines that don't go very far it's
So carbon buildup?
It's all carbon, and it comes back to there's a filter underneath, and that's what they use DEF fluid for, but it has to run at a certain temperature for a certain, which usually means the speed and RPMs have to be kicked up. It's a problem that all departments have, because majority of the departments locally do not have a 20-mile straight run where they could keep it at 55 and over or 45 and over, depending on what truck it is. So it's just tough.
Yeah.
I know we've had this problem.
And I'm assuming you can't, I'm sorry, Mr. Johnson, did you have something? No. Oh, I'm assuming you can't have it, you can't take a trip to West Palm and back, to burn it off? You out of the city?
Right. You could go to West Palm and back, but you'd have to make sure that 95 was clear and that no emergencies would occur in the city.
It's expensive, though. I guess you'd have it in the city, but, okay. I get it.
Okay.
Thank you. Anything else, Finance Director?
Oh, well, actually, it's for Chuck. I saw that they're doing 53rd court cleanup. I just didn't know how close they were to finishing up.
Thank you. So it's a two-part process, vegetation removal and sediment removal. The vegetation's done. They're working on the sediment.
Oh, okay.
I think in 2 weeks they'll be wrapped up.
Yeah, a couple residents over there called and said they were super happy and excited
Yes.
that it was being cleaned up, and they were like, "Are they done?" And I said, "I don't think
No.
so, but I just want to make sure." Okay, thank you very
Yep.
much, Chuck.
Thank you.
Anything else? Thank you, Frank.
Thank you.
Public comments and requests regarding agenda items. There are 2 items on our agenda, one concerning a banking agreement with Wells Fargo and a bid approval for drainage improvements. If you'd like to come up and address the commission regarding those two items, come forward, state your name and address, please, and you'll have 3 minutes to speak. Seeing no one come forward, I'll close public comment regarding agenda items. No reports of city administration. We kind of touched on department reports. Anything else for our department heads from the commissioners? Okay, no reports of the city attorney.
No, sir.
Next meeting, planning and zoning, April 2nd, 2019. Code enforcement, March 19th, 2019. Community appearance, March 21st, 2019. Special magistrate, April 3rd, 2019. And marine advisory, May 2nd, 2019. No unfinished business. First item of new business, waive the bid process and adopt a resolution approving the banking services agreement between Lighthouse Point and Wells Fargo Bank. Finance Director DePaulo.
Thank you. The city's been banking with Wells Fargo ever since they took over Wachovia, and was banking with Wachovia ever since they bought out First Union, I think it was, and they were with First Union ever since they bought out. So we've had this relationship going for a very long time. Since I've been here, the banking industry has changed when it comes to government clients. A lot of the big banks, after 2008, after the recession, didn't really want to deal with government money and weren't really interested in servicing the accounts and providing handsome benefits. And recently, in the past few years, that's changed. Wells Fargo has made a renewed commitment to the city. They've been very attentive. They've been contacting me, working on ways to be more efficient with our services, to be able to provide the city with whatever it needs, and just basically do what we need them to do as our relationship manager. So they reached out to me recently, wanted to get a contract in place. We don't have a contract. We haven't had one in place with them. They're providing us a minimum earnings credit rate of 65 basis points, which the earnings credit rate is basically the amount that the interest that they provide us that offsets our banking fees. So essentially, if we have enough money in the bank at any given time, we don't have to pay fees for our banking. The 65 basis points is the minimum. It's not going to ever go below that for the duration of the contract, and it will go up when market conditions improve. And they've actually changed their model where it used to be every month they would analyze your account. So if one month we had, let's say, $10 million in the bank because we got all of our tax money, and the next month we transferred it out and we had less than we needed to be able to offset our fees, one month we had this huge surplus that we didn't need to use, and the next month we were paying fees. So what they did now is do an annual average for the 12-month rolling, or for the entire fiscal year, and as long as we just keep our average daily balance for the year within a certain threshold, then we're pretty much guaranteed to not pay any fees, which is a large benefit compared to what we currently have now with our no contract situation. So the agreement is for a 5-year initial period with initial 1-year renewals that can be authorized. There is a resolution and the actual agreement itself and the fee schedule, and we don't know the impact, obviously, because we don't know exactly how much services we're going to incur and how much we're going to have to offset those. So, but at this point, we recommend that the City Commission waive the bid process and adopt the resolution approving a bank services agreement with Wells Fargo Bank for a 5-year term, and authorize the proper city officials to execute the necessary documents.
The motion to read.
Motion to read.
Second.
A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Lighthouse Point, Florida, approving an agreement with Wells Fargo Bank N.A. to provide banking services to the city, authorizing appropriate city officials to execute necessary documents, contract documents, providing for an effective date.
Questions, Commissioners?
Question I have is, after looking at all this, I still can't figure out how much do we pay in fees at any given time.
Like I said, what will happen going forward is the goal is that we won't pay anything.
Right, I understand.
Currently we pay anywhere from nothing, in the beginning of the fiscal year when we start getting our tax revenues, to as the year dwindles down, sometimes with our fluctuating cash balance, we don't have enough money to cover those fees.
Got that.
And we're paying sometimes $400, $500, $800 a month for those fees. So sometimes it's hard to keep that bank balance where we need it to be to offset.
I
But
understand it comes and goes.
Yeah.
In the flow. I mean, it sounds like a smart thing to do. That's, not a lot of money, but it's not cheap to keep paying bank fees.
Commissioner, are you done, Commissioner Walker?
I am done, thank you.
Commissioner Van Buskirk?
Only question I had was, I was looking through it, and obviously, is there normally on all our policies we have like a 90-day window any time where we notify them we want to cancel our relationship? I didn't see that. Is that in the agreement, or is that, I did not see that in the agreement?
Thought setting it, we can renew it every year.
Well, I saw that we could renew it after the 5 years, but usually in all of our other contracts we have that are continuously or longer, we have a 60 or 90-day cancellation. Because, I'm just saying, if we sit back and all of a sudden the fees end up being more than we're expecting because of revolving balances, I would just want to know if there was...
Here it says 30 days prior.
Yeah.
Oh, that's, I missed that. Oh, sorry about that. And then the next question is that, can we have an update once kind of this new contract kicks in to make sure that we are staying on top of it and are able to not cause fees to be exorbitant? I'm sure we're not going to, but this does worry me a little bit, always the fact that we're looking into a contract for a bank to hold our money. Just a little odd.
Yes.
Okay.
Anything else, Commissioners?
If there's not, I would offer a motion to pass this resolution, Resolution 2019-2255, approving an agreement with Wells Fargo.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second by Commissioner Johnson. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you.
Item number 2, resolution awarding the bid and approving an agreement with Continental Construction for Northeast 30th Avenue Drainage Improvements, RFP 2019-001. Public Works Director Schramm.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you, Commissioners. There's an area on 30th Avenue just to the east of Frank McDonough Park that's historically low. We've got measurements out there where this particular section of roadway is a foot below the surrounding area. It was likely done before I was born, but we need to fix it now. So with that being said, water can sit there for days. I know there's a lot of areas in the city that do get ponding when we get heavy rains. In most cases, the water gets absorbed by the soil in an hour or two, but this area does not because it is low. So I contacted the city engineer, and we assembled an RFP and advertised it. The city engineer and myself were on the selection committee. We received a number of responses. They're tabulated in the agenda item that was in tonight's package. And the selection committee reviewed the proposals and recommends Continental Construction USA as the most responsible and responsive lowest bidder. Attached is a resolution and their proposal and a recommendation letter from the city engineer. The references were checked. And at this point, I would recommend the City Commission adopt the resolution awarding the bid and approving the agreement with Continental Construction in the amount of $97,210 for the Northeast 30th Avenue drainage improvements.
Motion to read.
Have we ever dealt with
We get-
it before?
Commissioner, motion to read.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I thought you were-
Motion to read.
Second. Read. Second. Go ahead.
Second.
I think Commissioner Van Buskirk seconded.
A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Lighthouse Point, Florida, awarding the bid to Continental Construction USA LLC and approving an agreement for Northeast 30th Avenue drainage improvements, RFP number 2019-001, authorizing expenditure of funds, authorizing the appropriate city officials to execute the agreement and all necessary documents, and providing for an effective date.
Commissioner Johnson.
Have we ever dealt with these?
Since I've been here, no. I believe they're a newer firm. They do have a contract with Broward County. I'm familiar with some of their work in the city that they performed for Broward County. It was satisfactory, and we checked the references.
Because they're so low compared to some of
They
them.
were,
So
they,
high.
yes, that's correct.
All right. You feel they're, is that right?
We'll find out.
With the references? Yeah.
Anything else, Commissioners?
Curious.
Seeing none, motion?
Motion to pass, award and bid approving the agreement with Continental Construction.
I'll second it.
We have a motion, we have a second on Resolution 2019-2256. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. That is the end of our agenda, light agenda for a change. Next item is public comments and requests from the floor. If you've come to the meeting to address the City Commission on any topic, come forward, state your name and your address, and you'll have 3 minutes to speak.
Everett Marshall, 2821 Northeast 44th Street. I want to thank the Public Works Department for all the work they're putting into the baseball field. They're making it quite presentable. And also for the commissioners and the administration for backing us, getting a new fence and for helping us through that process, and also the batting cage. And if the administration might, Mayor, maybe put some pressure on the batting cage guy to get his button gear and get it done before baseball season gets over.
Becky's working with CSR to get it going.
Okay. Thank you very much for doing that for us.
Hello, my name is Carl Capola. I live at 3140 Northeast 23rd Ave. And I was reading all the articles about dredging. And I've belonged to 2 cruising clubs in Lighthouse Point. And obviously the majority of the people who are in the cruising club own boats. And we are very concerned about the condition of our canals. Let me be very frank. I've had 4 different incidents with my boat that I have hit the bottom and during certain tides. In addition to that, the cleaning of Kingfisher Canal is going to even give me bigger problem because I am right on the corner where the water turns out of that particular canal. I have to have my scuppers cleaned and my strainers cleaned every week. 2 months ago, a 2x4 came down, stuck into the exhaust of the boat, and caused about $1,600 worth of damage. There's all types of debris coming down to that canal, passing my house, and it goes right past my boat. And I mean debris, I mean things that I don't want to describe here at this meeting. And I'm very concerned. I've been a Lighthouse Point resident for 15 years. And to be truthful, the canals are deteriorating. There are 2 places now that are really, really bad. Right on the east side of Kingfisher Canal, where the water comes out, there's a mound. It's definitely at low tide, no more than 4 feet of water. I can only take my boat out 1 hour before high tide and 1 hour before low tide. I think this is a very big inconvenience considering, that the major reason I moved to Lighthouse Point is to be able to have access to canals and waterways. The major reason that you attract, the higher end residents is because of your canals, and yet I've seen less and less being done with the canal. When I first came here, you had a man go by at least cleaning the canals. I haven't seen him in years, anybody cleaning the canals. The only person cleaning the canals, to be truthful, is me. I've got a guy who's collecting bags, plastic bags, continually, garbage and everything that's coming down there, and I'm really, really upset. And we've had a conversation with about 30 of us in the different cruising clubs, and asked me to come here today because I noticed the dredging situation to present our problem and to see how you as the committee can help us resolve that. I understand that you're going to dredge the west side of Kingfisher when there's not a boat there that draws more than 3 feet. But the east side of Kingfisher, where all the major big boats are, nothing is being done. You have 2 areas that are bad. There's an area about 300 to 400 feet before you get to the marina. I've now set 3 props broken there already because there's a mound of cement that's been dropped there in the middle of that canal and nobody's addressed this. I've had this discussion more than once about those cement that's been dropped there. Previously, before your administration, Mr. Trosh, I was told that that was coral and couldn't be taken out. That's far from the truth because I had a diver go down. It's not coral. It's cement pilings.
Where is that?
It's 3 to 4. When you leave, my area there, the only way to get out is going toward the marina.
Right.
Well, 300 or 400 feet before the marina, there's a 2-foot drop there. Not 2-foot bump there. That bump, Huh?
In the middle of the channel?
I'm not really sure. It's close to the middle. It's sort of a little bit to the left side. In fact, when we come in, we always go to the right side. But I've now lost 3 props there. And, I'm saying I think it's about time we address these issues now in terms of the canals, because I think they're a very important part of Lighthouse Point.
What can we,
Well, what we'll do is we'll get the police boat to see if they can find it on the sonar. And then if they can locate it, we can get it, someone down. We also are going to have dredging starting hopefully in the next several weeks. Maybe the dredge company can pull it out if it's a piece of concrete. I know there was a piece of coral further east in that waterway, closer to the marina, but that was not coming up 2 feet. So sounds like something that's been dropped fairly recently, possibly by one of the...
If you have a boat with a depth finder, because we bump back and forth, it's real clear. You see it jump right up and jump right down.
Okay.
And that's been a problem. It's 3 years now, and I've taken out 3 props. Now, I only go out 1 hour before high tide and 1 hour after.
Just out of curiosity, Paul, just out of curiosity, what does your boat draw? Just out of curiosity.
6 feet.
6 feet. So, we're only allowed to dredge to 5 by the...
Yeah, but that's okay. I understand.
That's okay, as long as it's not low tide.
Yeah.
So he shouldn't be having this problem at the times he's going out, is my point. That's why I was trying to figure out...
Well, it's just not me. There's 3 or 4 boats right on my canal alone, and Gary's here. He has boats on his canal.
Okay.
We all are concerned, and everybody has asked me to come here and discuss it and bring it up because you're doing dredging. You got the equipment here. There are 2 major areas that are a problem, okay? And they should really be addressed because this is what's going to happen. When you start dredging and pumping, there on the other side of Kingfisher, you are going to absolutely fill up my side of the canal and where I have under my boat. And I don't have much left under my boat because, it keeps getting filled up. So, I just feel that it shouldn't be my obligation to keep my part of, I take care of my property, and it shouldn't be my obligation that it's going to continue to get filled. Once you start to dredge, you're going to fill that whole canal up. Because there's no possible way that you can dredge and stop the tide from coming in and out. That's not possible.
okay, you have something, Commissioner?
We're dredging the west part of that canal?
Yes.
Of Kingfisher?
Behind the bridge, right?
Behind the bridge, yes.
Because,
We're going to expand the dredging once we get started. Once we get started, we're going to see what we can do to expand the dredging area. But we've been trying to get this dredging project started for a very long time, and we've had a lot of speed bumps getting it going. So we're going to expand the dredging. So I'll speak to Chuck and John, and we'll figure out what we need to do, and we'll have to figure out where this piling is that Mr. Capola referenced, so we can find that and get that yanked out too.
and are you doing the east part of the Kingfish, or that's all right?
I don't have the,
there.
well, it was okay when we did the hydrographic survey, but things have changed in the last several years. So, but the plan is that we're going to start in the areas we're going to start, and then to expand it as we go along, and we'll have to come back to the commission once we figure out how much that's going to cost.
But isn't it the least likely place where the little boats are?
But I think the reason was we hadn't, those western canals hadn't been dredged in a very long time.
And Pompano's water drains into
Yeah, no,
that
I know.
waterway.
I know about
So
that.
that's the problem with the Kingfisher and the whole western edge of the Kingfisher. In some cases, there's not even a foot of water at low tide.
Yeah, but the problem you have too is you have, like you said, you have a drainage into that canal. But the drainage into that canal is bringing all types of garbage into that canal that's floating right past my house and gets stuck right and it gets them back in my
Coming
boat.
from the west side of Federal.
Excuse me?
Right. It's coming in from the west side of Federal. You are correct.
Yeah, it is. That's where it's coming from. I know that, but I'm saying, well, how do we handle that? Because like I said, I just had $1,600 worth of damage to the fiberglass where the 2x6 got stuck in the exhaust and jammed against the dock and busted out the plastic. So I had to bring it to the dock, to the yard.
We've had issue come up before with stuff coming in from western drainages, and are we prohibited from like putting
We can't put a screen up
Yeah.
because then the screen gets
Yeah.
filled up and then it floods.
Yeah, but you can put a screen in that you can maintenance it once a week. You can put a tread in the screen and pick it up and clean it out. You're just letting it come down the canal and it's all ending up down our neighborhood. And you know that because you've seen it go by your house. But you have to think it goes by my house, really goes by my house. I mean, it piles up. And the other thing it does is plastic bags are killing me.
Plastic bags are a problem in all the canals, not just yours.
But a screen setup could easily be devised where it's maintenance once a week or once a month, you know, so that,
How many, do we know how many of those drainage pipes come in from Pompano? I know that's, I wouldn't expect.
I think
Off the top of my head, I do not
I
know.
think there's 2 big pipes that come out.
We have 49.
40, yeah.
49.
Right, that's
No, in the Kingfisher alone, there's 2, I
48.
believe.
Oh,
Sorry, 48 quarter.
okay. All right, well, thank you for bringing it to our attention.
Okay, well, how will we find out what's the outcome of what you plan on doing?
Well, the Public Works Director is going to get with the police department. They're going to locate the piling if they can, and then make arrangements to have it removed.
Okay, if they have a problem, I'd be happy to cooperate. I have a small boat, I'll just take it there.
If you can give us the GPS coordinates, that would be great.
Okay, well, I'll have to send my captain out to do that,
Okay.
okay? That, and then the big pile of sand is, when you come across the Kingfish, when you come right out of Kingfisher, what happens is the water turns around by my dock, and it piles up right there. Right?
Is it
Right?
adjacent to your dock, or is it in the channel?
No, it's in the channel,
Okay.
not in my dock. It's,
Okay.
when I back out, I have water under my boat, okay?
Okay.
When I back out, I stir up an enormous amount of, I have to tread my way right through the mud.
Okay. Well, let's
Get out.
let Public Works get out there and the
All
police
right,
get out there and
then,
figure
then
it out.
we'll hear from you then, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll have.
Let me, like I said, I'll
I'll have Mr. Fran.
just, all you have to do is contact me, because I'll be the spokesman for the other people who I've told that I would keep informed. Thank you,
I'll
gentlemen.
ask Mr. Schramm to follow up with you.
Thank you.
Thank you for letting us know about it.
More public comment?
It's over 80 feet. He's right on the corner of the Kingfisher on the east side.
I presume most of you got a copy of my letter.
Which one?
This week.
Oh,
this week's. Letters from Leo.
Letters from Leo.
That's a very nice ring when you say it like that.
Thank you.
Well, that's about. Most of the gibberish at the top is not important. What I am concerned about, and what I mentioned to the commission one time before, is a portion of our section of our code, section 42-221, that says it shall remain the responsibility of the abutting property owners to maintain the sidewalks in good and safe condition. And I don't know that that's supposed to be a responsibility of the homeowners in general. When there's a sidewalk in front of your house, it's on the public road, it's not on your property. And you really have no right to fix it because it's not your sidewalk. Now, when this was passed, and I seem to recall some of it, there were some issues about new developments where people wanted sidewalks and they wanted to be able to build them and the city couldn't afford to build them or something of that nature. But this makes it appear pretty much that everybody is responsible for the sidewalk in front of their home. And I have a personal friend that had a problem in Fort Lauderdale, and he was sued by a lady on a bicycle that fell. And eventually he won, but it cost him $5,000 in legal fees. So I don't know that this is proper.
Thank you, Leo.
Well, that reminds me, where are we on this code review / rewrite?
The RFP is out.
Okay. Maybe this code should be on the list to be.
Probably not.
No, probably not.
Probably not.
Why? Well, explain me why.
Because, as I understand it, this code was passed because people were allowing debris and other matter to accumulate on their sidewalks, and this forces people to keep their sidewalks clean. If you lived up in the Northeast or anywhere up north of the Mason-Dixon line where you might get snow periodically, you're required to shovel your sidewalk to make it safe. You're not allowed ice to accumulate on your sidewalk. I remember when I was a little boy, I went up to New Jersey one time, and my grandmother's sidewalk needed to be shoveled, and I actually ended up having to go out there with a spade shovel and chop up ice so I could get it cleared before I put down salt. And then the two next door neighbors brought me over, and I was about 8 or 9 years old, and I spent quite a few hours clearing a sidewalk. So it is there for a reason, and it does provide a protection so someone's not piling palm fronds, grass, other debris, dirt on their sidewalk, and they keep it clear and it's passable.
Commissioner,
And I can say that the City of Fort Lauderdale, as Leo has mentioned, has pretty much the same code. It's the responsibility of the homeowner to maintain it. And that also would include, when you have the breaks. I know my father-in-law personally had to replace his sidewalk because a tree that, of course, is in the city's right away. And well, both of them are, but the city itself broke up the concrete. He had to replace it.
that doesn't seem fair, right? If it's a
Oh,
city-
but we do
Typically, yeah,
repair it.
Okay.
So on the flip side, one of the things we do is we do maintain that and take care of it. Another piece to this, it also prevents people from putting in their own type of sidewalks. For a while, especially then.
I have that next door to my house.
46, 48, 47, people are putting in pavers, people are putting in the, swirly concrete and everything else. So that's why even when a house gets knocked down, if there's a sidewalk there, it has to be replaced to the current standards of the city.
And this also keeps people from removing sidewalks when they put in driveways.
Anything else, commissioners?
Not for me.
Any other public comments or requests regarding agenda items? I'm sorry, public comments regarding anything. Okay. Seeing none, hearing none, we'll close public comment, requests from the floor. Communications from Commissioners, Commissioner Long.
We've had a lot of discussion about the work with DOT and MPO and the sidewalk or the bike lanes on Federal Highway. And I recently read in Sun Sentinel that, enough people got up and said enough with the bridge to nowhere going over the New River. And I think that's something that our commission should consider, is maybe passing a resolution expressing our, say a lot of words for it, but disdain for the plan to shrink our Federal Highway lanes, which are a problem anyway, and increasing this bike path, or whatever you want to call it, bike lanes. And I had the opportunity to speak to some bikers who were waiting for some other people. Of course, they're blocking the roads right now. Asking which would rather be on Federal Highway or A1A. And they're like, we're normally on A1A, but construction drives us over here. And I think that's the majority of the people who are using the bicycle lanes currently, heading north or heading south. And I think we're all in agreement from our discussion that we are not in support of this program. And I think we need to take a stand and say, look, if you want to put some money into it, put it into A1A, because that's where the cyclists really are. It's a safer venue. We have so many cut-ins because we have the retail stores that it is a dangerous proposition even with the 5-foot bicycle lanes. One's coming down, you're going to take a right-hand turn into the shop, many of the shops that we have from Sanford Road north. And I just think that we need to really take legislative action, if we can, and say, we don't want this, and see if we can get Deerfield involved as well. But, from our part, I think we need to stand up to this and say, we don't want it in our community. We don't think it's the best use of taxpayers' dollars. We think it's dangerous. We think it's going to affect businesses. And this is all important to us. I want to know the Commissioner's thoughts on it.
Thoughts?
I tend to agree. It's dangerous. Federal Highway is dangerous, and anything to encourage people to ride bikes is probably the wrong thing to do. And you're right. You got a lot of cutoffs. You got a lot of turns. I haven't spoken with any bicyclists, so I don't really know. It just makes common sense to me. They prefer A1A, but we all know what's going on in Hillsborough, where construction has made it impossible for any sort of traffic. But what you're saying to me makes sense, and I think, I haven't spoken to bicyclists. I'd like to get a little more information, but I'm certainly not opposed to what Michael's saying.
Commissioner Johnson?
I was not in favor of the project either to begin with, but why did we vote for it when we voted for it if we had these doubts? I mean, we had the opportunity, we had DOT here, we had MPO here, we did it ad nauseum, and we worked out a so-called compromise and gave them permission to go ahead, and now they've gone ahead. And so I mean, I guess we can still rescind it, but I think the time to rescind it should have been when we said yes in the first place.
The reason I voted for it is because it came to us as a fait accompli, and the only thing we could vote for was to modify it so they weren't going to take out
Yeah,
the trees.
that's true.
So I was in favor of that when it was like a done deal. So if I would have known there was a choice, we could have just said no, period. But I didn't think that was an option. If it is an option, and maybe it's just, as Michael said, a resolution to oppose it, even though it may not have any teeth, that we're sending a message, and maybe that's what we need to do. But I didn't think it was an option. I thought we were voting at that time to get the tree issue, and that's why I voted in favor.
But I don't think
We voted. We never, yeah, I was
We
gonna say,
we never
we
voted
never
on
voted
it.
on it.
We had
Yeah.
a discussion with them,
And they
but there was
just-
never a vote.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I thought we did.
I don't
Say,
No, I don't recall,
Came in
one of my thing was, I was under the impression, but I don't
We didn't
recall a
have a choice.
vote. There was nothing on our agenda, but basically what it was all the times the guy came in front of us trying to negotiate and trying to give us information. I believe it started with Mike talking about, hey, what's all these ribbons around all these trees? And that's, basically snowballed into him coming in and doing a great job. And I think that we were all in favor of, like Earl was saying, is, hey, listen, we appreciate you working with us, not removing as many trees, going down from the 60s down to 9 or 7, depending on how many we could replace. But I think that, I've said since the get-go, it's just awkward that we're only starting at Sample Road and we're only moving so many, so the person has an open area from Sample Road to Deerfield, it just seems weird to me. It's not even from 14th Street, or at least from one area to another. I would say, however, though, on the other flip side of it, I understand the idea of, listen, they're trying to make it safer for bikers. If, having been a bicyclist in my previous time, training for the Ironman, yes, it's better to run on A1A. It's better to ride on A1A. But ultimately, in the end, some of those folks that are on our federal highway are not there to ride. They're there to go from point A to point B, i.e. to work or different locations. So I think that it's a complex issue, but I'm for having something come back and saying, listen, ultimately, in the end, before you come here and start giving us, ultimatums to try to save trees, we should have the ultimatum whether we're even interested in this project to start off with.
But I think it's a symbol. I mean,
I
want it to be more than symbolic. I want it to be, strongly worded and make this the first step of saying, no, we're not going to take it. You're not going to tell us what to do because, one, your plan doesn't make a heck of a lot of sense, number one. Two, when you talk about a downtown corridor of Fort Lauderdale, it can make sense because people will be traveling from their home to work. That's the plan for downtown Fort Lauderdale. Now, there are corridors throughout Broward County. Our area is not one of those. We don't have people who are on a regular basis starting in Lighthouse Point or somewhere and going up to Boca Raton for work. You do have a handful of people who may be taking that as transportation, but it's not going to be for a 10-mile jaunt. And in many respects, they can be using the sidewalks that run parallel with it or run through the town. But, I think that if we can stop the bridge from nowhere, we can stop this because it's the best thing for our community. It's the best thing for everyone involved. I think we need to try.
Can I just say one thing? And I agree with you, but the reason why they picked us, that we were saying, why didn't they do down Atlantica? The reason is because they're tying it into Palm Beach County, and the bike lanes came to the Deerfield Boca line. That's why they chose this little strip from the Boca line to Sample Road as the starter for the whole area up here. That's why they picked us and not some other part for a federal highway. That's the reason we were lucky enough to be first out of the box.
But this is northbound traffic.
Yeah, but in north and south, the reason why, because it seems odd, why did they just pick from Sample Road to there? That's the reason they picked this strip to connect it with Palm Beach County, because it's already done there. That's just a little word of wisdom.
Again, is it
Doesn't
best
take
for
it
our
away.
community? Is it
No.
safest for our cyclists?
Right.
Is it safer for our motorists? I think everyone understands how bad Federal Highway has gotten from a traffic perspective, and it's getting worse. And whether it's the signalization of the lights or something else, it is getting to be very dangerous. We're having more and more accidents there. And I don't know, I'm just seeing this anecdotally from, stuff you see about an accident here or accident there. Cyclists tend to congregate along the A1A corridor. They've been doing that for years. And obviously that would be the ideal place if you want cyclists. And I think this is just not the best fit for our community, and I think we need a strongly worded resolution to that effect, and see if we can get Deerfield involved as well.
Just a couple things. February 26th was the public hearing on this, the same night as our last commission meeting. They did do 2 public hearings that night, one at 4 p.m. and another one at 6 p.m. I went to the 4 p.m. public hearing. There were a lot of people from Deerfield there. There were only 2 people from Lighthouse Point, 3 actually. Chuck Schramm was there, I was there, and Roy Rogers was there. And they are not narrowing any lanes on Federal Highway. They're going to remain at 11 feet. That was what was represented at that meeting. I did speak, and I spoke from my personal opinion that I thought it was a bad idea. My understanding is the public comment period remains open for 30 days following that February 26th meeting, which means we've got until, let's see, the 26th is our next commission meeting, so we'd have to pass it on our next commission meeting to get it to them, so it's included in the public comments.
Actually, does that work with February? Even a short month?
Yeah, 28 days.
Oh, 28, so we have what?
So we have 2 extra days.
Okay, yep.
So if we were to do something, we would have to do it at our March 26th meeting. But more importantly, Scott Thurman did present it as a fait accompli. Whether or not that's true or not, I don't know. What was interesting is the folks from Deerfield that were there knew very little about this project. And the reason they knew very little about this project is that they had not sought out FDOT to have discussions about what could be done. And I understand FDOT is now meeting with Deerfield. I don't know what this has done to their timeline, but I'm just saying all of this, that if we choose as a commission to do something, which I am supportive of, by the way, we would need to do this very quickly, and Mike would have to do some, like Cirillo I'm talking about, would have to do some quick drafting between now and our next meeting.
Yeah, I'm in support of it too. I think it is a fait accompli, but we can try. We can try. Yeah,
Only try.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to see what it's worded. You know, it needs to be strong.
Maybe we should also reach out to our state representative.
I have reached out to Commissioner Fisher, and he is aware of the level of unhappiness I have with the project, but I don't think he has much say in it either.
I thought way back in the very beginning of all of this, it was said that it wasn't necessarily a have to do if we were violently against it. Back when we were concerned with the trees and all
I remember it was
Not by
like
Scott.
the guy came.
No, not him.
Oh,
By
okay,
the
okay.
MPO said that
Oh, okay.
it wasn't that.
I don't remember that.
Absolutely
Yeah.
so.
I don't remember.
I think he kind of said it in a very roundabout way, Sandy, but I had the clear impression that they were doing this no matter what, and it is I believe they called it a priority 1 project at the
County.
Of the MPO, and they said that numerous times at the public hearing they had on February 26th. So clearly, they seem to be moving forward. The only good news that came out of the public hearing, instead of being a $12 million project, it's going to be under $7 million, they said. So they're not spending near as much money as they have. That's still a lot of money, and I can think of a lot of good places to put that kind of money.
And I think, if we go forward with this, it needs to go to the MPO as well, because, Sandy's our representative for the city of Lighthouse Point. And, talk about that, maybe your priority, it's not ours.
I'm in support of a motion.
Can we have a motion to give direction to the city attorney to prepare such a resolution?
I'd like to make that motion. We move a strongly worded resolution opposing this project and to do whatever we can to stop it and encourage them to go elsewhere, such as A1A.
I'll second it. We have a motion, we have a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Thank God, on March 26th.
Like, can get it done in 2 weeks?
Get it done in a week.
We can have it tomorrow.
He's probably on his computer already.
Further communications, Commissioners? Commissioner
Yeah,
Johnson?
speaking of the MPO, seems to be our subject for tonight. At our last meeting, Gretchen from the county came and spoke, and she was talking about the rehabilitation and maintenance programs that the sales tax will provide to all cities. Every city has to have them, roads, bridges, et cetera. And she said something that was interesting about the bridges, because I didn't realize that all the bridges had different standards. And there's the obsolete and deficient. Deficient is the worst, which to me it seems like obsolete would be the worst, but deficient is the worst. That's what they have to be before the state or the federal people will give you money. But if they become obsolete, that's the sales tax money will take care of the obsolete. So our little bridges that we're concerned about that are already at the obsolete form will definitely, she said, 100% be covered by the sales tax. We will get that money. Now, it won't necessarily be today or tomorrow, but it's in the plan, hopefully. But it's in the plan, submitted, it's on the list, and we will get that money in spite of the phone call that you got today, which
Now do you
I'll
want
have to look into. I know.
No, that's, so the funny story, right?
Yeah.
So just before the meeting, Commissioner Fisher called me back and said Gretchen apologized, she had
Okay.
misspoke.
All right, good, good.
So
But-
despite,
Wait, is that good, or?
no,
I mean,
so here's
money or
here's what happened today.
Heart attack.
This afternoon, Lamar Fisher called me and said she got a call from Gretchen. She said she had spoken to John Levisky yesterday, wanting to know why Lighthouse Point hadn't turned in any projects. Well, we have turned in projects, a bunch of projects. And I said to Commissioner Fisher, I said, Fancy, you should say that. I just had this conversation with Commissioner Johnson, and apparently all of our projects are eligible. He goes, no, you've got nothing in. This is a real problem. You need to get something in. I spoke to John. John shot off an email to Commissioner Fisher this afternoon, and Commissioner Fisher called me at 5:58 or thereabouts on my way over here and said, I just got off the phone with Gretchen. She misspoke. She does have your list. She didn't recall it until I sent it to her. She was confused between Lighthouse Point and Hillsborough Beach is what he said.
Happens all the time.
Well, anyway, the good news is our bridges are going to be covered by the sales tax and guaranteed, 100% guaranteed, so they said. And it can be any time from here on because they've met the standard at this point by being called obsolete. And also, our repaving of our streets is covered, and we put that in our plans, so we will be getting sales tax money.
Did we
for
see,
repaving
sorry,
of
Commissioner,
those.
did we see this plan? Did the commission see the plan? 'Cause I remember a plan being submitted the first time they tried to pass the petty tax.
No, we didn't bring it back to the commission. The first plan we did, but everything that wasn't like the fire station and those things, we took out of the plan.
Okay.
And we met the criteria. We left the projects in there that met the criteria.
So it's a subset of what we did,
Yes,
we
that's right.
previously saw. I remember there were
Paving bridges,
there were some
sidewalks.
there were some pretty audacious projects on that original list, as I recall,
Right.
which
Yes.
probably wouldn't be covered.
But there was, I think, 790 projects, that number is close to that number, submitted to the county from the 31 municipalities. And those are all guaranteed that they're going to be done with this tax money somewhere along the line. They're going to prioritize it, and I'm going to keep my eyes open and make sure we're somewhere, not number 796. But they'll prioritize it, and then they're going to go through it. But we're guaranteed some this first year, I think, 10% or something. The first year, everybody's going to get something. I don't even know if it's going to be a specific something or just everybody's going to get some funds. So, anyway.
Commissioner Van Liskirk, do you have anything?
Yeah, I just wanted to mention one thing. For those that don't know, I'm on the MSD task force for the Broward League of Cities. We had another follow-up yearly meeting. We put together a bunch of stuff and recommendations that we thought. So actually, just on last Thursday, they did a meeting, and we sat down. They talked about all the school resource officers and such. It's very interesting. I know, Commissioner Joffe, but the interesting part was that there is still a ton of money out there, and they're still trying to figure out how to spend it and how to best protect all the public schools, including the charter schools. And but they are going to be 100%. They are 100% operational by cameras. I feel like everybody wanted to know that for any of our local schools, and that they will have they do have and will continue to have a school resource officer at every public school and charter school within Broward County. However, so it's a good thing to know.
Commissioner Walker, anything? I had two quick things. One, while we're talking resolutions, and I talked to John about this yesterday, and I'm not suggesting we need a resolution by March, but the double poles. I'm sorry.
We're already got that in process.
I know, but if it's like getting ridiculous. I know. I'm not blaming you guys. I'm not blaming.
No. We already have a resolution.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. All right. Good. Check mark. Okay. Good. Thank you. And then finally,
No, we had started this before you spoke to John.
Okay, good. Oh, that's great to hear. We're thinking alike. Real quick, I guess this is my last meeting as Commission President. You'll be elected a new one. I'd like to announce my candidacy for Commission President for 20, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But I would like to just pause and reflect on the past year. We as a commission actually did a whole, and the mayor and everybody in this room did a whole hell of a lot, whether it's police unions, hedges, bonds, boats, a lot of stuff we did this past year, and I'd like to thank you all for doing a good job and working well together, and quite frankly, serving during this time is, I'd have to say, has probably been one of the more fun things I've done in my entire life. So I'm glad to say it was a successful year, and the best is yet to come. So good luck to the next person, whoever he may be. So that's all I have.
I just have one thing. In keeping with that light, I think we can all congratulate Commissioner Long. He has just completed his 20th year as a city commissioner.
Congratulations,
Who's
Mike.
the longest city commissioner sitting?
City? Longest
That
ever?
was.
Oh, I
Is
don't,
it
probably.
consecutive?
Probably.
I bet it was you, Mike.
I think it.
Well, wasn't Franklin Dunn between, well, if you count when he goes to mayor.
Yeah,
That's
consecutive.
Yeah,
Consecutive, that may be.
That's why I have to dye my hair now.
You never noticed, Mike.
At 26 years.
That was breaks.
12 different
There were
There were
breaks.
breaks in
There were breaks in between. And Frank McDonough had a lot of consecutive years, but he was mayor in some of them, and then he's back to a commissioner, and that kind of switched around.
Then he had some space in back.
And then he had a black break.
Well, an accomplishment.
Yes, indeed.
Congratulations.
It's been fun.
Yeah.
And you did a fine job.
Yes.
I thought you did a very, very nice job.
Thank you. All right, anything else, commissioners? And we are adjourned.